Bermuda was first settled in 1609 by shipwrecked English colonists heading for Virginia. Self-governing since 1620, Bermuda is the oldest and most populous of the British overseas territories. Vacationing to the island to escape North American winters first developed in Victorian times. Tourism continues to be important to the island's economy, although international business has overtaken it in recent years. Bermuda has also developed into a highly successful offshore financial center. A referendum on independence from the UK was soundly defeated in 1995.
Geography.
Bermuda.
Location: North America, group of islands in the North Atlantic Ocean, east of South Carolina, US.
Geographic coordinates: 3220N, 6445W.
Map references: North America.
Area: total
54 square kilometers.
Land:
54 square kilometers.
Water:
0 square kilometers.
Country comparison to the world:
232.
Area: comparative, about 1/3 the size of Washington, D.C.
Land boundaries: 0 kilometers.
Coastline: 103 kilometers.
Maritime claims: territorial sea.
12 nanometers.
Exclusive fishing zone:
200 nanometers.
Climate: subtropical, mild, humid, gales, strong winds common in winter.
Terrain: low hills separated by fertile depressions.
Elevation: 0 m lowest point.
Atlantic Ocean:
79 highest point.
Town Hill.
Natural resources: limestone, pleasant climate fostering tourism.
Land use: agricultural land,
14.8%.
arable land,
14.8%. Permanent crops:
0%, permanent pasture,
0%.
forest,
20%.
other,
65.2%.
irrigated land,
Population distribution: relatively even population distribution throughout.
natural hazards, hurricanes, June to November.
Environment: current issues: dense population and heavy vehicle traffic create serious congestion and air pollution problems. Water resources scarce, most obtained as rainwater or from wells. Solid waste disposal, hazardous waste disposal, sewage disposal, overfishing, oil spills.
Geography: note, consists of about 138 coral islands and islets with ample rainfall, but no rivers or freshwater lakes. Some land was leased by the U.S. government from 1941 to 1995.
People and society.
Bermuda.
Population: 71,176.
Country comparison to the world:
203.
Nationality: noun,
Bermudian. S.
adjective,
Bermudian.
ethnic groups: black 53.8%, white 31%, mixed 7.5%, other 7.1%, unspecified 0.6%.
Languages: English, official, Portuguese.
Religions: Protestant 46.2%, includes Anglican 15.8%, African Methodist Episcopal 8.6%, Seventh-day Adventist 6.7%, Pentecostal 3.5%, Methodist 2.7%, Presbyterian 2.0%, Church of God 1.6%, Baptist 1.2%, Salvation Army 1.1%, Brethren 1.0%, Other Protestant 2.0%, Roman Catholic 14.5%, Jehovah's Witness 1.3%, Other Christian 9.1%, Muslim 1%, Other 3.9%, Non 17.8%, Unspecified 6.2%.
Age structure: 0 to 14 years.
16.92%, male 6088/female 5957.
15 to 24 years.
11.95%, male 4306/female 4197.
25 to 54 years.
36.56%, male 13049/female 12972.
55 to 64 years.
16.04%, male 5383/female 6034.
65 years and over.
18.53%, male 5596/female 7594.
Population pyramid.
Population pyramid.
Median age, total.
43.5 years.
Male.
41.5 years.
Female.
45.4 years.
Country comparison to the world.
18.
Population growth rate.
The average annual percent change in the population, resulting from a surplus, or deficit, of births over deaths and the balance of migrants entering and leaving a country. The rate may be positive or negative. The growth rate is a factor in determining how great a burden would be imposed on a country by the changing needs of its people for infrastructure, for example, schools, hospitals, housing, roads, resources, for example, food, water, electricity, and jobs. Rapid population growth can be seen as more population growth rate field listing
0.43%.
Country comparison to the world
158.
birth rate 11.3 births out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world
172.
death rate 8.7 deaths out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world
71.
net migration rate 1.8 migrants out of 1,000 population.
Country comparison to the world
50.
population distribution relatively even population distribution throughout.
Urbanization, urban population
100% of total population.
rate of urbanization.
Minus 0.44% annual rate of change.
Major urban areas, population 10,000 Hamilton, capital.
Sex ratio at birth
1.02 male apostrophe s/female.
0 to 14 years.
1.02 male apostrophe s/female.
15 to 24 years.
1.01 male apostrophe s/female.
25 to 54 years.
1 male apostrophe s/female.
55 to 64 years.
0.89 male apostrophe s/female.
65 years and over.
0.73 male apostrophe s/female.
Total population
0.94 male apostrophe s/female.
infant mortality rate total
2.5 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
male
2.6 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
female
2.4 deaths out of 1,000 live births.
country comparison to the world
217.
life expectancy at birth total population
81.5 years.
male
78.3 years.
female
84.7 years.
country comparison to the world
26.
total fertility rate 1.92 children born/woman.
Country comparison to the world
128.
HIV/AIDS, adult prevalence rate, NA.
HIV/AIDS, people living with HIV/AIDS, NA.
HIV/AIDS, deaths, NA.
Education expenditures, 1.5% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world
175.
School life expectancy, primary to tertiary education.
School life expectancy, SLE, is the total number of years of schooling, primary to tertiary, that a child can expect to receive, assuming that the probability of his or her being enrolled in school at any particular future age is equal to the current enrollment ratio at that age. Caution must be maintained when utilizing this indicator in international comparisons. For example, a year or grade completed in one country is not necessarily the same in terms of educational content or quality. More school life expectancy, primary to tertiary education, field listing.
Total
12 years.
Male
11 years.
Female
12 years.
Unemployment, youth ages 15-24. Total
29.3%.
Male
29.7%.
Female
29%.
Country comparison to the world
35.
Government
Bermuda.
Country name Conventional long form
None.
Conventional short form
Bermuda.
Former
Somers Islands.
Etymology.
The islands making up Bermuda were named after Juan de Bermudez, an early 16th century Spanish sea captain and the first European explorer of the archipelago.
Dependency status overseas territory of the UK.
Government type parliamentary democracy, Parliament, self-governing overseas territory of the UK.
Capital name
Hamilton.
Geographic coordinates
3217 N, 6447 Watt.
Time difference
UK4, 1 hour ahead of Washington, D.C., during standard time.
Daylight saving time
+1 begins second Sunday in March, ends first Sunday in November.
Administrative divisions 9 parishes and 2 municipalities. Devonshire Hamilton, Hamilton, Peigate, Pembroke, St George, St George's, Sands, Smiths, Southampton, Warwick.
Independence.
For most countries, this entry gives the date that sovereignty was achieved and from which nation. empire, or trusteeship. For the other countries, the date given may not represent independence in the strict sense, but rather some significant nationhood event such as the traditional founding date or the date of unification, federation, confederation, establishment, fundamental change in the form of government, or state succession. For a number of countries, the establishment of statehood. More independence field listing.
None. Overseas territory of the UK.
National holiday. Bermuda Day, 24 May, note, formerly known as Victoria Day, Empire Day, and Commonwealth Day.
Constitution history.
Several previous, dating to 1684, latest entered into force the 8th of June 1968, Bermuda Constitution Order 1968.
Amendments.
Proposal procedure. Passage by an order in council in the UK, amended several times, last in 2012.
Legal system. English common law.
International Law Organization participation, has not submitted an ICJ jurisdiction declaration, non-party state to the Act.
Citizenship. Citizenship by birth.
No.
Citizenship by descent only.
At least one parent must be a citizen of the UK.
Dual citizenship recognized.
Yes.
Residency requirement for naturalization.
10 years.
Suffrage. 18 years of age. Universal.
Executive branch, Chief of State.
Queen Elizabeth II, since the 6th of February 1952, represented by Governor John Rankin, since the 5th of December 2016.
Head of Government.
Premier David Burt, since the 19th of July 2017.
Cabinet.
Cabinet nominated by the Premier, appointed by the Governor.
Elections. Appointments.
The monarchy is hereditary, Governor appointed by the monarch. Following legislative elections, the leader of the majority party or majority coalition usually appointed Premier by the Governor.
Legislative branch. Description.
Bicameral Parliament consists of
Senate, 11 seats, 3 members appointed by the Governor, 5 by the Premier, and 3 by the opposition party. Members serve 5-year terms, and the House of Assembly, 36 seats. Members directly elected in single-seat constituencies by simple majority vote to serve up to 5-year terms.
House of Assembly, 36 seats. Members directly elected in single-seat constituencies by simple majority vote to serve up to 5-year terms.
Elections. Senate, last appointments in August 2017, next appointments in 2022.
House of Assembly, last held on the 18th of July 2017. Next to be held not later than 2022.
Election results.
Senate composition: men 7, women 4%, of women 36.4%.
House of Assembly, percent of vote by party, PLP 58.9%, OBAR 40.6%, other 0.5%, seats by party, PLP 24, OBAR 12, composition, men 28, women 8%. Percent of women 22.2%, note, total parliament percent of women 25.5%.
Judicial branch, highest courts.
Court of Appeal, consists of the court president and at least 2 justices. Supreme Court, consists of the Chief Justice, 4 puisne judges, and 1 associate justice. Note, the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council in London is the Court of Final Appeal.
Judge selection in term of office.
Court of Appeal justice appointed by the Governor, justice tenure by individual appointment. Supreme Court judges nominated by the Judicial and Legal Services Commission and appointed by the Governor, judge tenure based on terms of appointment.
Subordinate courts.
Commercial Court, began in 2006. Magistrates' courts.
Political parties and leaders. 1 Bermuda Alliance or over. Vacant.
Progressive Labour Party or PLP, E. David Burt.
International Organization Participation, CARICOM, Associate, IC, NGOs, Interpol, CIBRO, IOC, ITUC, NGOs, UPU, NUCO.
Diplomatic representation in the US, non-overseas territory of the UK.
Diplomatic representation from the US. Chief of Mission. Consul
General Mary Ellen Koenig. Since the 28th of November 2015.
Mailing address.
P.O. Box HM 325, Hamilton HMBX, American Consulate General Hamilton, U.S. Department of State, 5300 Hamilton Place. Washington, D.C. 205205300.
Telephone
14412951342.
fax
14412951592. 2969233.
consulate S General
Crown Hill, 16 Middle Road, Devonshire Vo 3.
flag description red with the flag of the UK in the upper hoist side quadrant and the Bermudian coat of arms. A white shield with a red lion standing on a green grassy field holding a scrolled shield showing the sinking of the ship Sea Adventure off Bermuda in 1609. Centered on the outer half of the flag, it was the shipwreck of the vessel, filled with English colonists originally bound for Virginia, that led to the settling of Bermuda.
Note:
The flag is unusual in that it is only British overseas territory that uses a red ensign, all others use blue.
National symbols: Red Lion.
National anthem, name,
Hail to Bermuda.
lyrics/music.
Bet Johns.
Note:
Serves as a local anthem. As a territory of the United Kingdom, God Save the Queen is official. See United Kingdom.
economy.
Bermuda.
Economy overview. International business, which consists primarily of insurance and other financial services, is the real bedrock of Bermuda's economy, consistently accounting for about 85% of the island's GDP. Tourism is the country's second largest industry, accounting for about 5% of Bermuda's GDP but a much larger share of employment. Over 80% of visitors come from the US, and the sector struggled in the wake of the global recession of 2008-2009. Even the financial sector has lost roughly 5,000 high-paying expatriate jobs since 2008, weighing heavily on household consumption and retail sales. Bermuda must import almost everything. Agriculture and industry are limited due to the small size of the island.
Bermuda's economy returned to negative growth in 2016, reporting a contraction of 0.1% GDP, after growing by 0.6% in 2015. Unemployment reached 7% in 2016 and 2017, public debt is growing and exceeds $2.4 billion, and the government continues to work on attracting foreign investment. Still, Bermuda enjoys one of the highest per capita incomes in the world.
GDP, purchasing power parity, $6.127 billion,
$6.133 billion.
$6.097 billion,
Country comparison to the world.
172,
GDP, official exchange rate, $6.127 billion.
GDP, real growth rate, minus 0.1%,
0.6%.
minus 0.3%,
Country comparison to the world.
198,
GDP, per capita. PPP, $99,400.
$95,500,
$87,500.
country comparison to the world,
6.
GDP, composition, by end use, household consumption,
51.3%,
government consumption,
15.7%,
investment in fixed capital,
13.7%,
investment in inventories,
0%,
exports of goods and services,
49.8%,
imports of goods and services,
minus 30.4%,
GDP, composition, by sector of origin, agriculture,
0.9%,
industry,
5.3%,
services,
93.8%,
agriculture, products, bananas, vegetables, citrus, flowers, dairy products, honey,
industries, international business, tourism, light manufacturing.
industrial production growth rate, 2%,
Country comparison to the world.
129,
Labor force, 33,480,
country comparison to the world,
202,
labor force by occupation, agriculture,
2%,
industry,
13%,
services,
85%,
unemployment rate, 7%,
7%,
country comparison to the world,
106.
population below poverty line,
National estimates of the percentage of the population falling below the poverty line are based on surveys of subgroups, with the results weighted by the number of people in each group. Definitions of poverty vary considerably among nations. For example, rich nations generally employ more generous standards of poverty than poor nations. Population below poverty line field listing.
11%,
Household income or consumption by percentage share.
data on household income or consumption come from household surveys, the results adjusted for household size. Nations use different standards and procedures in collecting and adjusting the data. Surveys based on income will normally show a more unequal distribution than surveys based on consumption. The quality of surveys is improving with time, yet cautions is still necessary in making inter-country comparisons. Household income or consumption by percentage share field listing.
Lowest 10%.
NA.
Highest 10%.
NA.
Budget, revenues.
999.2 million.
Expenditures.
1.176 billion.
Taxes and other revenues. 16.3% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
183.
Budget surplus, plus, or deficit, minus 2.9% of GDP.
Country comparison to the world.
127.
Public debt, 43% of GDP. FY 14/15.
Country comparison to the world.
117.
Fiscal year, the 1st of April, the 31st of March.
Inflation rate, consumer prices, 1.9%.
1.4%.
Country comparison to the world.
96.
Stock of Naira money, $3.374 billion.
$3.422 billion.
Note:
Figures do not include US dollars, which also circulate freely.
Country comparison to the world.
118.
Stock of broad money, $22.1 billion.
$25.1 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
67.
Stock of domestic credit, NA.
Market value of publicly traded shares, $1.85 billion.
$1.601 billion.
$1.467 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
100.
Current account balance, $818.6 million.
$763 million.
Country comparison to the world.
53.
Exports, $19 million.
$19 million.
Country comparison to the world.
210.
Exports. Partners, Jamaica 49.1%, Luxembourg 36.1%, US 4.9%.
Exports, commodities, re-exports of pharmaceuticals.
Imports, $1.094 billion.
$980 million.
Country comparison to the world.
183.
Imports, commodities, clothing, fuels, machinery and transport equipment, construction materials, chemicals, food and live animals.
Imports, partners, US 72.1%, South Korea 9.7%, Canada 4.2%.
Debt, external, $2.515 billion.
$2.435 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
150.
Stock of direct foreign investment, at home, $2.641 billion.
$2.664 billion.
Country comparison to the world.
116.
Stock of direct foreign investment, abroad, $889 million.
$835 million.
Country comparison to the world.
90.
Exchange rates. Bermudian dollars, BMD, the US dollar dash.
1.
1.
1.
1.
1.
Energy.
Bermuda.
Electricity access, electrification, total population.
100%.
Electricity, production. 650 million kWh.
Country comparison to the world.
159.
Electricity consumption 604.5 million.
Country comparison to the world.
166.
Electricity, exports, 0 kilowatt hours.
Country comparison to the world.
107.
Electricity imports 0 kilowatt hours.
Country comparison to the world.
126.
Electricity, installed generating capacity, 171,000 kilowatts.
Country comparison to the world.
169.
Electricity from fossil fuels, 100% of total installed capacity.
Country comparison to the world.
3.
Electricity from nuclear fuels, 0% of total installed capacity.
Country comparison to the world.
50.
Electricity from hydroelectric plants, 0% of total installed capacity.
Country comparison to the world.
158.
Electricity from other renewable sources, 0% of total installed capacity.
Note:
The Tynes Bay Waste Treatment Facility turns waste to electric energy.
Country comparison to the world.
176.
Crude oil production, 0 barrels/day.
Country comparison to the world.
110.
Crude oil exports, 0 barrel day.
Country comparison to the world.
94.
Crude oil imports, 0 barrels/day.
Country comparison to the world.
97.
Crude oil, proved reserves, 0 barrel.
Country comparison to the world.
107.
Refined petroleum products production 0 barrels/day.
Country comparison to the world.
119.
Refined petroleum products consumption 5,000 barrel day.
Country comparison to the world.
178.
Refined petroleum products exports 0 barrels/day.
Country comparison to the world.
131.
Refined petroleum products imports 3,939 barrel day.
Country comparison to the world.
178.
Natural gas production 0 qm.
Country comparison to the world.
105.
Natural gas consumption 0 cubic meters.
Country comparison to the world.
122.
Natural gas exports 0 qm.
Country comparison to the world.
70.
Natural gas imports 0 cubic meters.
Country comparison to the world.
92.
Natural gas proved reserves 0 qm.
Country comparison to the world.
111.
Carbon dioxide emissions from consumption of energy 793,700 Mount.
Country comparison to the world.
174.
Communications.
Bermuda.
Telephones, fixed lines, total subscriptions.
21,883.
Subscriptions per 100 inhabitants.
31.
Country comparison to the world.
173.
Telephones, mobile cellular, total subscriptions.
64,997.
Subscriptions per 100 inhabitants.
92.
Country comparison to the world.
198.
Telephone system, general assessment.
A good, fully automatic digital telephone system with fiber optic trunk lines. Telecom sector provides a relatively high contribution to overall GDP. Numerous competitors licensed, but small and localized.
Domestic.
The system has a high fixed line tele-density 31 per 100, coupled with a mobile cellular tele-density of roughly 92 per 100 persons.
International.
Country code 1441. Landing points for the GlobeNet, Gemini Bermuda, CBUS, and the Challenger Bermuda 1, CB1. Submarine cables, satellite Earth stations, 3.
Broadcast media, 3 TV stations. Cable and satellite TV subscription services are available. Roughly 13 radio stations operating.
Internet country code .bm.
Internet users, total.
69,126.
Percent of population.
98%.
Country comparison to the world.
181.
Transportation.
Bermuda.
Civil aircraft registration country code prefix B.
Airports 1.
Country comparison to the world.
214.
Airports with paved runways, total.
1.
2,438 to 3,047 m.
1.
Roadways, total.
447 kilometers.
Paved.
447 kilometers.
Note.
225 kilometers public roads. 222 kilometers private roads.
Country comparison to the world.
138.
Merchant marine.
Merchant marine may be defined as all ships engaged in the carriage of goods, or all commercial vessels, as opposed to all non-military ships, which excludes tugs, fishing vessels, offshore oil rigs, etc.
Total.
160.
By type.
Bulk carrier 10, container ship 8, general cargo 1. Oil tanker 18, other 123.
Country comparison to the world.
72.
Ports and terminals. Major seaport. S.
Hamilton, Island, St. George.
Military and security.
Bermuda.
Military branches. Bermuda Regiment.
Military service age and obligation.
18 to 45 years of age for voluntary male or female enlistment in the Bermuda Regiment. Males must register at age 18 and may be subject to conscription. Term of service is 38 months for volunteers or conscripts.